Hello, welcome to the episode of Motoring Middle East. Today I'm checking out the Volvo XC40, the premium luxury subcompact you've potentially been waiting for. To be honest, I'm not going to waste your time. I think it's great, it's beautiful, it drives amazing, it is just flawless in every way. That's it, that's the review, that's the end, thank you. What? That's not it? That's not it? We got to do more than that? Okay. Yeah. Alright, so Volvo XC40, what's like about it? Made in Belgium, but it is the Swedes' answer to the BMW X1, the Audi Q3, and a whole bunch of other small subcompacts. I'm actually going to do some comparisons at the end to those cars and tell you what I think, how the XC40 stacks up. Prices are not cheap. 162 for the front wheel drive, about 200 horsepower version, and this is the full fat R design with 250 horsepower. It's 174,900. Engines are all 2-litre turbos, and this one has 250 horsepower and an 8-speed automatic made by Toyota. Well, I said it's really good. I mean, I could just stop wasting your time, but it's really good. But if you must, let's find out more. Let's give a pretty quick walk around because you kind of know what these Volvos look like, but I just want to draw attention to how freaking good this car looks. Look at the proportions, especially in the side view. It's really chunky. It looks like a Nike shoe. It looks like a sneaker, a dunk, or whatever the kids are calling it these days. These wheels are great. They are unfortunately very massive. 21 inches. I don't know why they're 20 inches, but the ride doesn't suffer, so what can I say? It's not really an off-road, it's more of like a really cool, trendy city car. But I love the little details, these Thor hammer headlamps, all these little crisp little details, little Volvo script there. The way that the Volvo badging still is the same classic way, but in this crazy cascading plastic waterfall. Everything about this car is just so nicely thought out and designed. These wheels are cool, but I imagine they get curbed a lot. And this one actually has, if you can see it here. Not my fault. Good proportions on the side. Not too much crazy character work. No lines, slashes, scoops. The Japanese could take a lot to learn from this. Love the way this black bit out here starts descending down the C-pillar. This is a bit of a problem. This C-pillar is so massive that rear visibility is actually a bit crap on this part here. So if you look through there, you can't actually see anything. I apologize if this sounds windy. I'm doing my best. Well, I love the tail of this car. I love the way it looks like those classic Volvo mean shouldered haunches, and I love the way the headlights just flow into this sculpted body. Flawless, flawless, flawless. Love the little roof spoiler as well, very cheeky. Where is the boot release? I'm doing this in real time. Oh, I found it. You see, this is what the RAV4 could do. This is really fast. The Toyotas could learn to do that better, but it is quite a decent boot. Let's take a quick look. Boot space in the back, to be honest with you, is not great. There's enough for like a couple of carry-on bags, whatever, like one big piece of luggage, but not huge. I mean, it is kind of more of a city car. You've got tie-downs here, you've got some small hooks here, lots of little details. And what is this over here? There's a first aid kit, nice Volvo first aid kit. There's a ski hatch for your skis. Yeah. Under here, let's see this. There's a little storage space, a very little storage space. Under here is the spare tire, which is a small one, space saver. Not a great boot. And let me see if I can, the partial shelf is removable as well. Kind of the only black mark really, it's not a big boot. But then again, if you want a big boot, buy an XC60. These kinds of cars, the X1, etc., none of them have big boots. They are for young, trendy people, which I clearly am not. What is accommodation like on the inside? Well, it's not as spacious, obviously, as the XC60 or the XC90. It's big brothers, but it isn't bad. Headroom's decent. I've got decent. The seats are comfortable. I would like some under-thigh support. Always a problem with these small SUVs. There is an armrest with 2 cup holders. There is speakers. There is a place to keep your arms. There's a little luggage net here to keep your iPads. 2 AC vents, 1 USB, yes, 1 micro USB, and that's really about it. I would say this is more of like a 2-seater. There is a space here for a second person, but really these are 2 seats, not 3. So it's more of like a city car to take your friends around. But long distance journeys, you know, I want to say it'll be uncomfortable because there's no reach, there's no fore and aft, there's no rake and recline, but I'm pretty comfortable. I think I could do some decent distances in this. I wouldn't want to go to Salalah, but I'd go to Abu Dhabi in the back of this car. No problem at all, especially with this armrest. Alright, onto the front. Interior time, my favorite part of most cars, but specifically the XC40. Let's just start. I'm just throwing some crap in the back, that's what you're hearing. Look at this crazy like test pattern style design that runs across here. Very, very cool. Mirrored in the doors. You have lots of real, is this plastic or metal? Plastic, but it feels like metal. Of course, we all know these vents, the sliding up and down vents that actually direct a fair bit of air. So, what have we got in terms of details? Well, let's look down. 2 cup holders, as I mentioned before. There's a place here. Actually, if you look at our Instagram story, you'll see this. This is a place to keep your phone, and it's got a Qi charger, just like the RAV4 I talked about earlier. Unlike the RAV4, it's got these 2 little edges here that actually hold the phone in place so it doesn't move around. So it's very thoughtful, and because it's vertically portrait oriented, if you're looking at the road and then you're looking down, you can see notifications flash up, which you shouldn't, but you can actually see notifications, so you decide if they're worth attending to or not. Cigarette lighter still, for some bizarre reason. USB and 2 USBs actually. Not crazy about this gear stick. It looks like, how do I put this delicately? Like something women might know very familiar with. It's a little bit of an interesting shape. It's also weird to use. I'm going to turn the car on now so I don't die of heat. Love the classic Volvo startup look, and I love that this doesn't have 2 complicated dials. It's a digital dial system that looks like the old Volvo analog system. Very, very easy to understand at a pinch. Let's come back down here. You've got a hand automatic parking brake. My words are failing me because it's so hot. This is your park. So to go into drive, you go 2 taps. Or if you go to reverse, you go 2 taps. And you can do a manual mode as well, left and right. It's not very good. Volvo should do better with their next gear stick. What have we got in here? You've got my glasses. It's a very shallow bin, to be honest with you. It's got nice fabric and nothing slides around. Oh, you've got a little net here to hold things. Seats are sublime. Volvo, this is a little known fact, but Volvo makes the best seats in the business. You can spend days in them, you'll be comfortable. This is literally the best seat in the business. It holds your spine, it is ergonomically correct, yada yada yada. Looking up, what have we got? What have we got? You've got a massive panoramic sunroof, which you bloody should for 175,000 dirhams. Alright, let me see. On the center console, not a lot going on. You've got your stereo controls, drive mode, which doesn't really make a difference, and that's really it. Everything happens up here in the main screen. Now, Shahzad's already gone through this in quite solid detail. I don't know what they call the system. I call it very good. It's very easy to use. The first time you take it out, you'll be like, where is everything? Why is nothing straightforward? But you swipe down for information. You can actually get the owner's manual. Load that up right now. It does take a while. It's still taking a while. I'm dying of old age. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, nice. Featured articles. See, this is how you do it. It's brilliant. All right, this is how the Europeans do it. But there's a home button at the bottom to bring everything back. So this is my navigation. This is radio. Sound system is sublime. I'm actually going to say this might be one of the best sound systems any car, any price. And what else we got? Oh, this is the one demerit with the system is the air conditioning unit. So where's the AC controls? Down here? Down here? No. You've got to press this button and you've got to fiddle with these things manually. And it's not exactly intuitive. If you press automatic, it takes everything over. It's not that great in this heat, to be honest with you. So to go off automatic, what do? You press that. That's what you do. And then you press recirc. I'm not crazy about it. On the plus side, it's a good system. But to make quick adjustments, it's a pain. So your classic Volvo steering wheel here, of course, nothing really makes sense. This is the one for your audio controls. This one brings up information like trip, etc. Very, very detailed trip, actually, from start, etc. All the things you need. This is voice control, which nobody will ever use. This is your speed control, so this enables it, this sets it, etc. so on. I'm not sure what these do. I think they're radar cruise control, but I'm not actually sure this car has radar cruise control. It's got memory seats. It's got usual sort of knobs and switches for controlling the doors. And that's really it. It's pretty sparse in here. That's the way the Europeans are. But for a car this expensive, you sort of think there should be more flash and sizzle. On the other hand, after a couple of days, you just get used to it. All right, enough dithering about. Let's get this wonderful vehicle on the road. So the Audi Q3, how does it compare? Well, it's got the same problem everybody does in this segment. They all have a nice badge, lots of kit, but none of the dynamics. And the Q3 is really not very interesting to drive. It also has the MMI system, or the new version. I'm not crazy about it, but a lot of people do like it. It's okay. There's nothing about a Q3 or a Q2 or any of them that just makes me like sit up and go wow in the morning. I mean, which is the funky one? I think it's the Q2. That's better, but it doesn't drive the way it looks. So what's the point? Nice car if you're into Audis. Jaguar E-Pace. I really like that car. I really liked it. That's because it was a Range Rover Evoque. So on that basis, I would say no, because I'd rather have Range Rover Evoque. But the E-Pace was really good. Really good. Range Rover Evoque. One of my favorite cars. Love driving it. Has genuine off-road ability. It can do stuff this car cannot. Very nice car to drive. Very nice car to be in. But I just had a look at the new one in the showrooms, and I'm not crazy about these digital dashes, you know. I mean, and the Land Rover version is really pants. It's just so slow to react, and it's like you spend so much money, but the car feels like a 1980s calculator. It's like it feels very first gen. They need a faster processor, and they need to do it now. So again, maybe the new one's better. I haven't driven it, but that alone is kind of a contention problem. However, the Range Rover Evoque can go off-road, and the XC40 should not be 21-inch wheels, but it's the closest competitor. I would say it's between the XC40 and the Evoque, and it depends which badge you like. Alright, so let's put the XC40 on the road. I mean, it's kind of pointless because the cars in this segment are really about fashion and gadgetry and comfort and style. They're not really about throwing it down a winding road or blasting up a highway. They're just nice cars, and they're targeted largely at people who appreciate fashion and live in cities, which is kind of Dubai in a nutshell, really. So it's a bit pointless. But I've got a bit of a rough road in front of me. Let's see if it has any off-road ability. That's all I'm really going to do. I'm going to put drive mode into off-road and see what it does. Off we go. I don't like this gear stick. It's one thing I don't like about it. Oh, okay. So it does this thing where it reduces the calibration of the throttle. So basically makes the throttle softer. The ride is not good. With 21-inch wheels, it's thumping along all over the place. It's hitting my spine. Stuff is falling down in the back. It's not great. It's not an off-road car. It's got tons of torque and punch from this turbo, but for what it is, it doesn't feel like a heavy car. It doesn't feel like a heavy car at all. Okay, yeah, don't take this onto a beach. Don't take this. Don't throw a wadi. All right, comfort. No, dynamic. Punted. Decent. Makes a nice snarl too. And that was 100 from a very lazy start. Does it make any difference in the steering? Not really. It's not a very dynamic car. I'm going to put it back into comfort. Yeah, I really want to say that it's a fun car to drive around, but it's not. But it's not offensive. There are cars in this segment that are so boring. I'm looking at you, Audi Q2, that are just like, you're like, why did I buy this car? What did I buy again? Was it the BMW? Was it the Audi? Whereas this car, the steering's nice. It's not bad. I took that corner quite bad just to see if it'll slide around and hits that patch of sand. But the calibration of safety is very good. You feel very safe in this car. You feel very safe. You see, now in normal mode, on normal smoothish roads, the ride is pretty good on these 21s. I don't know why it's 21s, but hey ho. Let's see, we're hitting a hump. Let's see how it takes it. Actually, suspension is pretty good. I mean, it's a little stiffer than the regular car too. On an off ramp. It's got plenty of performance. So, if it's not a great handler, why do I like it so much? Because it's a nice place to be. The cabin is so quiet and composed, and the music system, I don't know what brand it is. I don't know. Hold on, let me just overtake this truck. Yes, done that. Let me adjust the camera. So, yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that angle. I'm very comfortable in my seating position. I'm just nice. I mean, I think once you get the initial confusion over what the hell are all these controls and what do these logos and things mean, once you get over that, you just never have to look at it ever again, and it's so comfortable. Fuel economy has been excellent. I've got 489 kilometers out of this tank, and I've got 70 to go. It's reading 7 liters per 100. At about 120, 130, it's doing about 9 liters per 100. So it's not the best in the segment, but it's not the worst. And I think most people find the fuel economy grains really good. Air conditioning system, really good. I've been keeping it outside just to see if it can cool the cabin down from a hot start. Does okay. Not as good as like a Toyota or Range Rover or whatever, but pretty good. good. Yeah, I just really like being in this car. I don't have, it's a bit like love. It's hard to describe, but once you're in it, you'll know it, and you'll know what the fake version feels like too. Like, this car just feels right for me. May not be for you. You might say, well, I want a Porsche badge, I want an Audi, I want a Volkswagen. And anybody who knows me knows that I'm not into badges. I don't like Mercedes or BMWs just because they're Mercedes. I refuse to buy a car just because of the badge on the front. But this Volvo feels truly Volvo, and the Chinese bit has impressively not neutered it. I mean, it still feels like a Volvo. This car is made in Belgium. So a couple of secondary impacts, I'm just feeling the right. There are a couple of secondary impacts, some little nudges and pushes that remind you it's 21-inch wheels. But it's not bad. It's really not that bad. It gets respect on the road too, as a small car. I still think you should get an XC60, but those are really expensive, man. XC90s are even more expensive. But you want it. If you had a family and you were really freaking serious about your family, get an XC90. Cornering, not much tire squeal. Bracing nicely. These seats are not. Look how much I'm sitting here. That's a fair bit of body roll. I'm only doing like 80 through the corner. I think my DeLorean would destroy this in the corner. But it doesn't matter. That's not what this car is about. What it's about is making you feel good, and it does that against all odds in a segment which are filled with cars that are basically trying to encourage you to buy the next one up. I'd be happy with this car. I would buy it. Like, I really don't want to even give it back. That tells you how much I love the Volvo XC40. And on that note, I'm going to end this review. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe like Sean Connery. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully another Volvo.